Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us for the inaugural 2021 Middle East and North Africa EdTech 50. My name is Maria Spies, and I'm the co-CEO and co-founder of HolonIQ. And I'm really happy and excited to be joined by Maged Harvey, who is the General Manager of EdVentures. Welcome, Maged.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you.
Great. We have an action-packed session of 45 minutes today. But before I start, just to let you know, if you are registered for the session or, of course, in the session now, immediately after the presentation, you will receive an email with the recording of the session. And then we'll launch the MENA EdTech 50 on our website immediately after as well. And the recording will be available on YouTube from tomorrow. So let's get started. Firstly, just a little bit about the agenda. So it's a 45-minute session. Firstly, I'll provide a bit of a welcome and the agenda like I'm doing now. And Maged will then introduce EdVentures and we'll hear from the CEO. I will do a bit of an overview about EdTech in the Middle East and North Africa, a few stats around what's happening in this space. And then we'll launch, of course, this year's most promising EdTech 50 in the region. The most important thing really of the session is to meet some of the companies who are doing amazing things. We have fantastic speakers tonight, 4 CEOs of EdTech startups who are on the list and who are going to make a very short introduction to their companies, what they're doing, the impact they're having. And so looking forward to jumping right into that session. This is one of a global series. So HolonIQ, we do a range of things, but one of the things we do is deep dive into different geographies and try to map the landscape. Context is king when it comes to education. So each geography has its own personality in terms of EdTech and what's happening, what gets traction, where the effort is being made in terms of sectors and so on. And so this is one of a series. You can go to our webinar site and join the webinars, or of course on our website you can see all the different geographies. And coming up next week is East Asia, and then Southeast Asia, Europe, and the North America to come still by the end of the year. But firstly, I'd like to introduce EdVentures, and particularly Maged Harvey. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us and for all your support in bringing together this 2021 Middle East North Africa EdTech 50. I'll just hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Maria, and hello everyone. Very happy and excited to be part of this important announcement. Thanks for Maria and Patrick for partnering with us to make this happen. My name is Maged Harvey. I am the General Manager of EdVentures BC. We invest in education and EdTech startups in Egypt and the MENA region and Africa. Our ticket size is around 300,000 USD dollar. Actually, the MENA ecosystem is growing year by year, and there is a promising startups that has been established recently. Still, this number of startups that has reached Series A or Series B or C of investment is still not that high, and this is a great opportunity that can be reached by startups to enter this market and scale. If we look to the ecosystem by sectors, we will find the most or a lot of startups are focusing on 2 things. First one is skill development, and the second one, online tutoring and from K to 12 and universities and after graduation. There is a huge opportunity in other sectors that still untapped, like AR, VR, AI and robotics, coding, other things in vocational education, and more. So I advise all people and startups to go through HolonIQ education landscape. They made a great job in providing 55 type of education under 11 main types that provide the possibility to review all types of education to startups to open their startups in different sectors, that especially the untapped sectors. Congratulations for all EdTech startups and that will be announced today, and wish them all success, and very happy to be part of this announcement. Thank you again, Maria and Patrick. And I will leave you with Adventures founder and CEO, Ms. Dalia Ibrahim, speech. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So Ms. Dalia Ibrahim is going to, who's the CEO of Adventures, is going to, she couldn't be with us tonight, but she's made a very short video that we're going to watch now just to introduce Adventures and what it's doing in the region, which is very, very important work. So let me just flick over.
Founder and CEO of Adventures. It's my pleasure and honor to be today in such a very important program by HolonIQ for our region, supporting the startups in the EdTech. Of course, HolonIQ have been supporting education technology for years and years, and really it's my pleasure as the CEO of Adventures to be part of this initiative in the MENA region. As we all know that the education technology is booming worldwide in all aspects because of the transition that is taking place after the pandemic, and also because of the move in technology that has been taking place for several years. And the pandemic actually accelerated this tremendously. And the number of students that is expected to increase during the coming few years, for example, more than 350 million students will be more in the market in the secondary level till 2030. And also it's expected that we are going to have 800 more million students after secondary level joining education. And of course, this is a huge number. And if we talk about our region, also it's expected that we are going to have 270 million students by 2050. So if we see it from the population side, we have a huge increase. And if we see it from the opportunity of EdTech, we have also a lot of new trends that are taking place. We are talking about a huge increase in artificial intelligence and augmented reality in education. In artificial intelligence, there is a huge growth also in the job opportunities that is taking place worldwide, and the integration of artificial intelligence in everything, not only in education, but we are now focusing on education. So there is a huge potential for this. Blockchain increasing, robotics is increasing too. So all these fields are increasing worldwide, and we have a gap in our region, not yet covered as they should be. And I believe even worldwide, they still have a huge growth and a huge opportunity in education. Personalized learning is a must. And in our region, after the pandemic, a lot of ministries of education have been focusing on the gap between what they have in schools and moving from just traditional education to digital. And of course, the hybrid model is very important. So governments are really focusing more, then we can notice this through our work, from our experience and our direct connection with them. So B2Gov is really a huge market, and B2C is even more and more, because through the presence of MOOCs, things like Coursera and other, of course, across the whole world, people now, B2C, I mean the main customer, are now going online to study by themselves and even to learn more about the subject they want to study about, or any topic they would like to know more about it. So increasing the market by having the direct customer interested to use technology and to learn more, this is a huge opportunity in itself. Mobility, the number of mobiles across the whole world and our region increased in the last few years tremendously. That makes it very accessible for a lot of people to use their smart device to go online and study online. And social media now is also a huge tool that people are using it. And there is a big belief among youth, especially ladies or women or girls, that and trust in technology, and that they can know more and learn more and develop more through using technology. And also the pandemic actually accelerated the importance for schools and ministries, schools, individuals, parents, about using technology to study and understand and learn, and for continuous development, and for skilling and upskilling. Vocational education, although it's used to be also face-to-face, but to a great extent, some vocational tracks are taking place online tremendously. So there is a huge potential in the Arab world for using digital technology, filling a lot of gaps. In our region, it reflects very similar to what is happening worldwide. From 2019 to 2020, the VCs doubled their investment in education, and while doubling this, 48% of the investment went to postgraduate studies, continuous development studies, and around 40% went to K-12 education. When we reflect this on our region, we will find that it's very close and very similar. We are talking about 45, 48% also postgraduate studies or continuous development. When we talk about K-12, it represents around 40% of our education technology programs, only 5% for pre-K students, which here you have a huge gap. And for parenting, they need a lot of support. So this is a gap of 5%. University levels are just 10%. So still there is a gap here that we need to work on it with our startups, or for the startups to think about it. Integrating soft skills in all what startups and educators are providing for their customers is very important. Merging this with the latest technology, as I mentioned before, the artificial intelligence, the augmented and virtual reality, and robotics, of course. STEM education is starting to take a good percentage in the markets, not yet as it should be, but there is a huge potential for STEM education. So actually we are in the era of the opportunities. I see it like this. This is the era of opportunities of education. We are in the middle of the transformation. So whoever have smart ideas know quite well the gap, and the business model is very clear. Using technology properly and making the proper research, definitely they will catch up the market, and they can reach levels where other people who will be just the followers, they will not be able to catch up with it as quickly as they can. So best of luck for everyone in this very important initiative. And again, thanks for HolonIQ for their support for education worldwide and region and for our partnership. And best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. That was fantastic. Ms. Dalia covered a whole range of things, which we will come back to, at the through this presentation, from social emotional learning and soft skills to business direct to consumer models, STEM, VR, AR, all sorts of topics that were already covered. So that's wonderful to hear from the CEO of an organisation who's making a very big impact and amplifying through their investments in the region. So let's jump through to just a little bit, HolonIQ. If you don't already know HolonIQ, we're a market intelligence platform. We are deeply in the vertical of education. We do track globally. We have something like 90,000 EdTech companies on the platform, and track every deal, and that allows us to really understand markets, whether it's verticals or geographies. And so we have some wonderful customers around the world, including, of course, in this region. And if you're interested in learning more about HolonIQ, then please, of course, go to our website. A little bit now about what's happening in the region. So we've mapped around 700, I mean, there's probably more, but around 700 EdTech startups in the MENA region. And you can see here where they fit according to the taxonomy that we have built up. So you can see the first one up the top there is upskilling. So as Ms. Dalia said, there's a lot of work happening in the adult upskilling area. I mean, the world needs to keep reskilling nowadays. And so you see that in the upskilling. And the next one down is education resources, so digital content. Very important and growing amazingly, and particularly in K-12. And then from education management, language learning, of course, you can see STEM and coding. So you can see how they fit in the MENA region where they're concentrating. In terms of, you know, splitting it between those who are focusing on K-12 or higher ed or whatever, you can see here in the green are the K-12 startups in the MENA region, and they span across these different categories. So education resources, digital content in K-12. I can't tell you how busy it is in this segment globally, and you can see here there's a lot of focus as well. Education management are those teams that are supporting schools and universities, or schools in this case, because it's K-12, to support their operations, you know, learning management systems or parent-teacher communications, things like that. And of course, language learning, tutoring, STEM and coding is also big. Moving forward into workforce, also it's a massive area. Upskilling, and that's typically the direct-to-consumer models of upskilling. Language learning, capability development, talent acquisition is you know, moving very fast. Even the and Miss Dahlia commented on that, which is the virtual and augmented realities. And so we're seeing a lot more activity in the workforce space in you know, XR, so that sort of simulated training and so on. Just moving forward into funding. So K-12, in this region, K-12 has attracted 64% of venture funding over the last 5 years, with workforce being 33%. Each one of those circles in the diagram there is a venture capital deal. The size of the circle is the size of the deal. So there's some quite big ones happening in K-12. And then slightly less so in workforce, but you can just see the sort of map of venture capital investment. But let's move on to the sort of the topic of the session, which is the 2021 Middle East and North Africa EdTech 50. So generally, you know, there are criteria for this, of course. Generally, the companies that make the list are less than 10 years old. Anything generally over 10 years old is not considered a startup. Headquartered in the region, and it's not listed or not owned by another company, and you know, not a mature incumbent essentially. The types of criteria we use, we do have a 5 sort of pointed criteria, which is the quality and attractiveness of this market that the startups are in, the product itself, of course, the team, diversity, expertise, the ability to attract capital either through revenue or through venture or external funding, and then momentum, of course. So the way in which the company has gained traction. So they're the general criteria. But to the list now, this in front of you is the market map of the 2021 Middle East and North. And you can see here some amazing teams and the logos. Some of you will recognize the logos. And in the broad subsector areas of digital content and online learning, on the top left there, and STEAM and coding down in the bottom left, advanced technologies like we were talking about earlier, and that's robotics and virtual reality. There's less of them, but really this is a growing area. Tutoring, test prep and language learning, this is quite strong in the region. And through to, on the right-hand side, management systems, and they are those companies which support schools and universities and institutions on the management, you know, side of things, whether it be learning environments or student information systems and things like that. And then on the bottom right-hand side, there is the workforce and skills segment, and those teams that are working to support adult learners either directly or through, you know, through B2B models through their company. So congratulations to all the companies who made it onto this list. And, you know, there are, like I said, there's somewhere above 700 companies in the region, EdTech companies. So actually it was quite difficult to get to 50. Next year we might have to make it a 100. But for the moment, congratulations to all those companies who have made it onto the list. Now, the best part of the day, of course, the session is hearing from the presenters. So I'm going to be joined by the presenters in a minute on stage, but just in a little bit of analysis, firstly, of this list. Firstly, there's 58% of that market map you just saw are operating in K-12. Now that doesn't surprise me. It's a big chunk. It's a very, you know, there's a lot of youth in the region, and so solutions for learning be, you know, it's not surprising to see nearly 60% and 30% in workforce, and that's just what Miss Dahlia was talking about. And The age of the cohort, we do a mapping of the age of cohorts and the different sort of, as I said before, the different demographics in different parts of the world. What we're seeing here is a really great balance, but I think what's interesting is a strong 50%, half of this cohort are between 4 and 6 years old. And the 4 to 6 year old cohort are those that are on the verge of real traction. This is the growth stage of a company. And so it's wonderful to see that right here in the region. And I expect that what will happen over the next few years is a lot of those companies will really go forth, not only in growing in the region, but growing globally as well. And you know, direct-to-consumer models growing all over the world, and it's a really very big direct-to-consumer market here in the EdTech 50. And you can see there B2B is much smaller and a few B2B2C. In the subsectors, what's happening, what we can see here is a great balance. So from digital content and online learning to STEAM and coding, management systems, tutoring, test prep, workforce and skills and advanced tech. I mean, it really is quite a balanced donut that we're looking at there. Again, that's the sign of quite a healthy ecosystem, not over-indexed on one sort of element. And so, you know, finally, in terms of geography, you know, the bigger economies, Egypt, of course, is pretty huge, and there's 30% of the cohort are from Egypt, 24% from the UAE, Saudi Arabia, 14% Jordan, Lebanon, Tunisia. It's wonderful to see Bahrain, Algeria, Kuwait also making it into the 100. So that just gives you a feel for the demographics of the group. And so back to the market map of this year's 50. But what I'd like to do now is introduce our speakers. So we have 4 wonderful CEOs from wonderful companies to present, just make a short presentation on their startup, a little bit about their organization, what they do, you know, the problems that they're solving and the traction that they've got. And so first up is Tarek Nur Eldin, and Tarek is the CEO of Otto. So Tarek, I'm going to hand straight over to you. Let me share your presentation so you can introduce Otto. 1 second.
Sure. You can hear me well first, right?
I can hear you fine. Yeah, all good. Let me just share that presentation. Wonderful. Take it away.
All right. So firstly, I'm very honored to be here with you on HolonIQ, and thank you very much for selecting us as one of the startups on the list. We are so excited, and we are excited with what's coming, and we also have a lot of wonderful news to share with you that just happened to us yesterday. So let me just give you a quick intro about OTO courses. We are considered one of the first and biggest online schools that teaches English online in Egypt. First thing, can you just move the slide for me, because it's yeah. So before we talk about the idea, we want to talk about the problem first. Here in Egypt, in the Arab world especially, everyone, they wish to apply for university abroad. They wish to get attention by writing the perfect mail, or be able to talk with their foreign supervisors, or pass an interview, or get a promotion, or be able to speak English with their kids. However, anything of those, in order to be able to achieve it, you have to have English. So English here in Egypt, in the Arab world, in the Middle East especially, is not a luxury. It's not just something that you learn in order to get to know to other cultures. No, it's one of the key essentials of your skills in order to be able to find a good job, to travel abroad, to get accepted in a scholarship, to get promoted. Actually, it's the enabler to change your life and to be able to improve how your life goes. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so me and Badr, we are the co-founders of OTO courses. We were both lucky enough to get proper English education that led us to easier chances in our careers. We both saw that people that lived around us weren't as fortunate as we are. So we were able to realize that their dreams are always turned down due to the lack of the second language. So what we decided to do is, me and Badr together, we decided to start OTO and to enable all of the other people to be able to improve their language and to change their lives as well. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so OTO is an online digital learning platform that provides a wide range of specialized general one-to-one courses It's very well known with flexibility because you can choose your teacher at any time you want, 24 hours. It's effective because it's all one-to-one, all private tuition with a private tutor that focuses on your need. It's convenient because you can take the course while at home, at school, at work, in your car, anywhere, from anywhere. And high quality teachers because we provide teachers from all over the world to be able to guarantee the best quality to all of our learners. Can you move to the next one, please? Next slide, please. Yes, okay. Some numbers about OTO. We taught more than 350,000 hours so far. We generated revenues of more than $400,000 so far. We taught more than 35,000 students. We have more than 200 instructors working with us. We have students from more than 30 countries, and we have more than 30. We are responsible for teaching the employees of the company. We also have more than one product. We have OTO Kids, we have OTO English, OTO courses, the main company, and something also that we launched almost a year ago that's called Dardish English. If we can move to the next slide, please. Our competitive advantage, there are similar startups to OTO in other countries, to be honest. However, what is very unique about OTO is that we have a very low teacher cost, which make us or enables us to reach as much people as we can. Because as you see, if you want to have a similar service to what OTO provides in the US or Europe, for example, you will find it 5 to 8x more expensive than what we actually offer here in our country. So this is one of our very unique things that OTO is well known for. And this is what is enabling us to be able to expand in our area. Next slide, please. We took a couple investment rounds. Our first one was in 2018, was seed investment round with $150,000. Then we got a bridge investment round for $200,000 from AUC Angels, Change Labs, and Angel Nurse people. And finally, we just got an investment deal that was closed and announced yesterday, which was our most recent investment round, provided by EdVentures. We just signed the contract 2 days ago with Ms. Dalia Ibrahim and Megat Harbi, and it was for $400,000 US dollars. It's considered our pre-series A round, and it was just announced yesterday. And that was it. I tried to give you a quick overview about OTO, what we do, where do we reach. Try to give you something about everything real quick, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Tarek, thank you so much. That was wonderful, and congratulations on your very, very recent round of just yesterday. That's fantastic. Wonderful. And now Tamer Badaway from Holon, welcome and thank you for joining us. And it looks like you're ready to go with your presentation already.
Yeah, hello everyone, and I think it will be easier for me to introduce my own presentation.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you everyone. I'm honored to be selected by HolonIQ as the top 50 companies in EdTech in MENA region. I hope we are going to make a big difference in education field. And it was 7 years for an idea to introduce a smart educational solution for a limited income segment, which suffers from limited financial budget, poor infrastructure, and fair technical knowledge. 7 years ago, to introduce Holon, which is a cloud-based school management system directed to limited income segment. Holon introduced a solution composed of 13 modules, make an integration between school information systems, learning management system, and ERP. In brief, we are introducing all-in-one solution where user can cover all school activities in one solution that fit with limited income segment resources. But what identifies Holon and our edge is No, it's I'm still here. What identify Colin is we are our after-sale service through 6 departments that ensure full deployment and full activation of our system in school and guarantee that every user, and I mean by user, a teacher, parent, admin, or student, that they will get benefits from using Colin. In just 2.5 years, Colin is distributed all over Egypt in more than 52 towns, acquire more than 5% of the market with more than 160,000 users, with more than 100K downloads, and we are most downloaded premium application in Egypt with more than 500,000 unique visits monthly. But market is growing mature. A lot of educational service providers are introducing every day in the market, and in the other side, users get confused which service he should select. So Colin introducing a new era in next few months by analyzing user behavior and analyzing all EdTech service provided in Egypt market to introduce an educational marketplace using artificial intelligence to select the right service to the right users. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tamer. Thank you, Tamer. That's wonderful. I mean, there's a lot of traction happening there, and you're only quite a young team, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, congratulations. It looks like you're really in the growth phase, which is wonderful to see. Next speaker, firstly, thank you, Mohammed Goish, who is the CEO of iSchool. Mohammed, welcome to the stage, and let me share.
Yeah, thank you, Maria.
And congratulations on making it to the list. I'm looking forward to your presentation.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is Mohammed Al Gawish from iSchool, and I'm very honored to be presenting iSchool at the HolonIQ MENA EdTech Top 50. We are iSchool. We are an EdTech platform from Egypt. In 2018, the World Economic Forum published a report. It's called the Jobs Landscape 2022. It indicates the top 10 emerging jobs that will be needed in the futures, and also indicating the top 10 declining jobs that will be replaced because of the automation technology acceleration. And these top 10 jobs are focusing on the robotics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science, and more. And in Egypt, we have more than 29 million students from 6 to 18 years old that don't have access to technology education. That's why we at iSchool are providing online coding school live for students from 6 to 18 years old to learn and create careers in the trending technology fields. And we are doing this by creating our own localized curriculum in Arabic and English using more than 30 tools and softwares in robotics, programming, and multimedia. And this curriculum is accredited from the International STEM Organization and from IADL AI. Students at iSchool are attending in 1-to-1 group ratio or on 1-to-6 group ratio with a certified coding coach, and they can subscribe to iSchool using the annual subscription model or the monthly subscription model. So far, we have been working and up and running for 3 years. We have more than 8,000 graduates and 100 coding coach and 350 training hours, and we have more than 200K interested followers on the social media, and we are reaching more than 4 million parents every month through our social media platforms. Because of the COVID, we got very exponential growth, and we got to deliver our service in Egypt and in Sudan and in GCC and in South Korea and USA and in Canada, and the COVID was very positive on iSchool. We have a very steady growth financial model, and we have generated the revenue year over year, and this year we are generating $1 million by the end of this year, inshallah. iSchool consists of more than 66 team members talented in the EdTech and business and technology education. They have different backgrounds with different skills. That's why we can create this solution and we can make this happen. And we already provided a lot of services to the organizations in Egypt, in like ITI, universities like AUC, and like international schools. And we already got features in more than 45 media and news coverage in the MENA region and internationally. Last but not least, I'm giving you 3 examples of our beloved students and our testimonials. We have Omar Al-Sawi. He started his own e-commerce website as his own startup after learning at iSchool for 1 year. And we have Rahma Muhammad. She started to freelance in the web development and UI UX field, and she is generating more than $600 US as a monthly revenue. And we have Abdurrahman Magdi, who got a scholarship to study robotics in Fujisoft in Japan, and also got a scholarship to study hardware and fabrication in ITI in Egypt. Thank you for having me, and this is iSchool.
Mohammed, thank you so much. That is some significant traction, and like you said, the pandemic, for all the terrible outcomes so far, really gave the opportunity for EdTech to step in and make a difference where otherwise people would not have had. And so it's just wonderful to see that traction. And not only that, I think digital skills, in particularly mathematical thinking and coding skills, is so in need from an early age all around the world. And you know, I can see that you've got a big and growing audience there, and globally too. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Great, wonderful. Our next speaker is Mustafa Al-Latif, and Mustafa, you are the CEO of eYouth. Let me share your presentation. Congratulations on making the list, and welcome today. Over to you for your presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you for the announcement and the event and selecting eYouth. Thank you for sure for Adventures for supporting and helping us, Mr. Magid and Mrs. Dalia. My name is Mustafa Abdulatif. I am from Egypt. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of eYouth. eYouth is an EdTech platform. We're working with youth from 18 to 35, 40 years old to giving them a better educational opportunities. We're offering an online interactive learning programs in fields of entrepreneurship and business, career development, and personal skills. We have more than 750,000 people participated in eYouth programs with more than 1,000 international and national partners. What we offer, we are offering interactive and programs, educational programs for youth. What we have as a competitive advantage, we offering these programs with affordable fees. We're offering a full learning experience with high-profile trainers and PhD holders, and also we are giving participant and international accredited certificates. We have more than 200 people working in eYouth. We have more than 760,000 users, more than 3 million applicants, and we have a lot of partners, a lot of P2P partners. We are working with 2 modules. We are working with P2C strategy, direct to the customers, and that represents around 65% of our revenue stream. And we are working with organizations, NGOs, UN agencies, ministers, and that represents around 35% of our revenue stream. This year, we are selected one of the the best 10 startups from LinkedIn in Egypt in all sectors. And last year, we are selected from the Egyptian government as the best company in Egypt, working to achieve the SDGs goals, especially in quality education, that we are offering a quality education for youth to have a better educational opportunities, whatever starting startups or join career. We helping till now more than 127,000 people to upgrading their jobs or start their first job after graduating from eYouth programs. We offering all our programs interactive experience, we a full learning program experience, and also our platform mobile application, easy to use, can be managed easily by the users and also by the trainers. Thank you.
Mustafa, thank you so much. What amazing work that you're doing. You know, it's not until you hear the stories of, the stories of EdTech founders that you really understand the type of impact they're having on people's lives, and not just the individual who's doing the learning, but their people around them, family and friends and so on. So congratulations on making such an impact, and for your mission. It's wonderful. Congratulations again on making the HolonIQ list. So I'm glad you're able to be highlighted there, and thanks for joining us today. Okay, so great. Thanks, Mustafa. So jumping back into the HolonIQ Middle East and North Africa EdTech 50, I'm just getting down to the slide so we can see that market map again. And I want to say a big congratulations to all the teams, and thank you for those presenters who joined us today. But there are, another sort of 46 teams out there who have made the list and who are really making a huge difference, along with the other 600 or 700 in the region. Maged, thank you for joining us, and thank you for all the wonderful work that you and EdVentures are doing in the region to support, not just to support EdTech, but to support education and to support learning for all ages. Would you like to say a few more words before we sign off for tonight?
I just need to thank you, Marie, for this effort and make this list for the first time for the MENA region, and congratulations for all the EdTech startups, and wish them all success, and hope that for the startups that couldn't have the chance to apply this year, to apply for the coming one in the next year. Thank you again, and wish you the best.
Thanks, Maged. Thank you. And so for those of you who are watching, you will receive the presentation as a recording via email in the next few minutes. Thank you for joining us, and we're signing off now, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.